with me, Mutukwa Moya. The headlines. The Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, says initial investigations into the Chama accident, which claimed 5 Hillcrest Technical School pupils and a teacher, have established that it was caused by excessive speed. Government says it has secured 40 million United States dollars to support agriculture mechanization. And in sports, Zesco United have started the 2016 CAF Champions League on a good note, beating Egyptian giants Al Ahly 3-2 in a game played at Levi Manosa Stadium in Dola this afternoon. We would like to thank you so much for joining us. And now the 18 hours news on TV2 in detail. The Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, says initial investigations into the Chama accident, which claimed 5 Hillcrest Technical School pupils and a teacher, have established that it was caused by excessive speed. RATSA Head of Public Relations, Frederick Mubanga, has since cautioned motorists to exercise caution and patience on the roads. Mr. Mubanga has since questioned the school authorities why they allowed the pupils to travel at night. Earlier, police spokesperson Esther Katongo said the accident happened yesterday around 22 hours as the pupils were going to St. Kenisha Secondary School for school games. Ms. Katongo says 5 died on the spot, while one who was among the 2 that were being evacuated to Livingstone General Hospital died on the way. ZNBC reporter Mike Munkombwe, who rushed to the accident scene last night, sent us this report.
Accidents on the Zambian roads have become a concern as hardly a week passes without a report of a mishap. Last night, 4 pupils and 1 teacher of Hillcrest Secondary School in Livingstone died on the spot, while 11 others sustained serious injuries after the school bus they were traveling in rammed into a stationary truck. The accident happened along Lusaka Livingstone Road at Kozo area in Chama district, when a driver of a school Rosa bus carrying 36 passengers, mainly pupils and teachers from Hillcrest Secondary School, destined for St. Kenisha Secondary for a Coca-Cola sponsored ball game, was overtaking the stationary truck, and in the process he hit into the same truck as he tried to come back to his lane upon seeing an oncoming vehicle.
So, but the emphasis, I feel the truck, I didn't see, because I went around the truck, I didn't see any sign of triangle.
Then I told my brother,
let's say that it was just truck, covering the whole road.
Yes,
the whole lane. Yes,
the whole lane. So now the brother he track is
So just after the curve, there was a stationary truck in front of us, and then there was an oncoming vehicle. I was asleep, I just heard kids screaming behind me.
Southern Province Medical Officer Dr. Jerita Chinyonga confirmed receiving of accident victims and dead bodies at Chama General Hospital.
The road traffic accident somewhere near Kozo Lodge in Chama. We received 11 pupils that had soft tissue injury. 2 were critical and have severe head injury and have been referred to Livingstone Central Hospital. Then we had 5 brought-in deaths, 4 pupils and 1 teacher. So that's what we have at the hospital right now. The others, about 5 have been admitted under observation. The others have been received, checked, and will be certified to be discharged.
Upon receiving the shocking news, Southern Province Minister Nathaniel Mubukwanu could not sleep but joined the government team of, among others, Choma District Commissioner Shinamleya at the hospital.
Expressing our deepest sorrows and condolences to the families of the children that have passed on in that road traffic accident. Our hearts and prayers go to them. We would like to strongly appeal again to those that are responsible for managing public institutions that at no time we allow large groups of people to travel in the night. It's not safe, and is what has resulted into this particular accident because of lack of good visibility.
School authorities across the country should adhere to instructions of not transporting pupils at night to ensure safety of their learners. Mike Munkombwe, Zanis, in Chama District, Southern Province.
The Ministry of Education has named those that have died as Titus Sayungu, grade 9, Gabriel Banda, grade 12, Mukumbi Kaputa, grade 11, and Remy Siame, grade 12. Others are Robbie Zulu, grade 10, and one teacher, Sikaswe Siasia. Meanwhile, the Ministry of General Education has expressed regret at the untimely death of 5 pupils and a teacher from Hillcrest Technical Secondary School in a road accident last night. General Education Minister Dr. John Piri has conveyed his condolences to the families and the school management. Dr. Piri has also disclosed that government will foot all funeral expenses. The ministry has further suspended the Coca-Cola sporting event that was scheduled to start in Monze at Ganesha Secondary School until further notice. The minister said this through General Education spokesperson Hilary Chipango.
We've received the demise of 5 learners, 1 teacher from Hillcrest Secondary School with serious regret. And as you are aware, the Honourable Minister has equally conveyed his messages of condolences on behalf of the ministry to the deceased families as well as the school management. And not only that, the ministry is taking responsibility of all funeral expenses. And maybe the other thing that you are aware that the team was actually traveling to Monze to attend or to participate in a Coca-Cola Sports Festival, of which we have currently suspended, not until further notice.
Negotiations to compensate families of the Pedico road accident in which more than 30 people died after a Luwingu-bound bus overturned and burst into flames have been concluded. Luwingu District Commissioner Patrick Chanda says all stakeholders, including families of the deceased, have accepted the outcome of discussions for claims and compensation. Mr. Chanda says the owner of the Senior Africa bus was cooperative during deliberations held in Kitwe recently. Mr. Chanda was speaking in an interview with ZNBC News in Kitwe today. And a representative of the deceased families, Martin Kansenga, thanked government for facilitating the meeting and ensuring that all parties are satisfied. Now, 4 people have been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment each for vandalizing ZESCO installations in Central Province. ZESCO spokesperson Henry Kapata says the 4 were sentenced in the Kabwe High Court yesterday. And Mr. Kapata has cautioned members of the public against vandalizing installations for the power utility company. Mr. Kapata has told ZNBC News in a walk-in interview that vandalizing of ZESCO property has contributed to unplanned load shedding in some areas. Meanwhile, Mr. Kapata has assured the nation that the power utility company is expected to further increase power generation capacity following the increase of the water levels at Itezi Dam.
I've always sensitized our customers that vandalism is a very serious offense in this country because it carries a minimum sentence of 10 years imprisonment to the maximum of 25 years in jail. And if you happen to vandalize an installation that leads to the death of someone, then you'll have to go in life imprisonment. And so 4 people have been putting us in a very awkward position in Central Province, vandalizing various ZESCO installations. And so yesterday they appeared before Judge Mwikisa of Kabwe High Court. And so they were, each one of them, sentenced to 10 years imprisonment with hard labor for vandalizing ZESCO installations. And so the message is very clear there, that we have been put in an awkward position, especially in this power deficit, where people can hardly notice that it's because of faults as a result of vandalism. We have long hours of people not having power as a result of this issue of vandalism. And so that's a warning to all those that intend to engage in this business, that the laws of this country are pretty tough on that one. Because if you are 60 years...
Government says it has secured 40 million United States dollars to support agriculture mechanization. Agriculture Minister Given Luwinda says President Edgar Lungu will soon launch farm mechanization. Mr. Lubinda says government further plans to have 6,000 hectares opened to irrigation every year and to put one big irrigation dam in each province. He added that 11,000 hectares have been opened to irrigation this year alone. Mr. Lubinda was speaking in Siavonga when he addressed new members of the House of Chiefs during their meeting with the Indaba Agriculture Policy Research Institute, E.R.C, on key facts on Zambian agriculture. And E.R.C board chairperson, Dr. Mick Mwala, says chiefs should be recognized as key drivers and partners in the development of agriculture. We go for our first break, and still to come in the news. ECZ says it has made progress in preparations for the rollout of the Referendum awareness campaign. Plus more stories, keep watching. We continue with the news. Vice President Inonge Wina has reiterated government's commitment of taking quality health care closer to the people. Speaking in Lufwanyama district today when the Children International Zambia Chin handed over Kapilamikwa Health Post to government, Mrs. Wina said the health facility is a significant step in the attainment of improved health service delivery. She said the mother's shelter and the equipment that has been handed over to government by Chin will make significant progress in the delivery of health services in Lufwanyama. The Vice President said government's vision is to ensure equity of access to cost-effective and quality health services as close to the families as possible. Mrs. Wina, who is also President Edgar Lungu's running mate, stated that Zambia has made notable improvements in the attainment of all Millennium Development Goals in the health sector. And Copperbelt Minister Mwenya Musenge said government has seen a tremendous improvement in the provision of health services ever since the PF government came into power. Police in Southern Province are looking for 9 suspected UPND cadres in connection with 3 assault cases. The suspected UPND cadres are alleged to have assaulted Forum for Democracy and Development FDD Namwala parliamentary candidate Charity Kabongomana. The cadres are also said to have assaulted Prince Sikagoma of Kasenga area and Manfred Sichikoloma of Kabulamwanda area in Namwala. The suspects who police are looking for are Mono Lubeji, Collins Lubeji, MacLeod Momba, Oster Chikai, a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Shumbwa, and 3 others only identified as Saka, Mukalanga, and Chiwanga or Mel. Investigations into the matter have continued. And the Forum for Democracy and Development, FDD, has demanded the arrest and disqualification of UPND Namwala candidate Mono Lubeji for allegedly attacking its candidate Charity Kabongomana. FDD leader Edith Nawakwi says the alleged offense by Ms. Lubeji is a clear breach of the electoral law. Ms. Nawakwi told a media briefing in Lusaka today that Ms. Lubeji, in the company of others, attacked Ms. Kabongomana, breaking her arm in the process.
We have a candidate in Namwala. Her name is Charity Kabongomana. She was having a meeting deep down in the jungle near the Angolan border. And one Mono Lubeji, a former member of parliament, who is also a candidate in Namwala constituency, Mono Lubeji took a weapon and he tried to hit Charity Kabongomana on her head. In her attempt to defend herself, her hand is shattered and broken.
But UPND General Secretary General Stephen Katuka told ZNBC in an interview that he cannot comment on the issue because he has not received the report. And Ms. Lubeji's public relations manager, Sarah Kawe, said the UPND Namwala candidate did not assault anyone. Ms. Kawe says it is the FDD cadres who are to blame because they are the ones who disrupted the UPND meeting in Namwala. She said after the incident, UPND supporters, together with Ms. Lubeji, went to police to report the matter, but the police told them that they had already received a report that Ms. Lubeji had assaulted someone. The United Nations Independence Party UNIP says political parties taking part in the August 11 general election should concentrate on explaining their manifestos instead of engaging in violence. UNIP Deputy Secretary General Alfred Banda says his party is on record of condemning violence and telling the electorate what they will do if elected. Reverend Banda has called on other political parties to emulate UNIP, which believes in coexistence. He urged Zambians to vote for UNIP in the August 11 general election because it is a party that has stood the test of time.
This party, UNIP, realizes that creating jobs, providing food, and reducing inflation for all the people are priorities that must be tackled above everything else. So UNIP is very, very committed. We are a social democratic party. We believe, in the value of man, because whatsoever we do, any developmental activity has to benefit man. So we're a serious party, and we mean well. The people of Zambia can trust us again.
Meanwhile, the Rainbow Party says it will revamp education as the means to develop the country's economy. First Deputy General Secretary Cosmas Musumali says an educated human capital is critical to production of goods and services. Dr. Musumali, who is also a running mate of Rainbow Party General Secretary Winter Kavimba, was speaking in an interview with ZNBC News in Lusaka today. He also said his party has espoused socialism as its political ideology in addressing the country's social and economic development.
System that is relevant for national development. You'll be creating Zambians that are patriotic to their country and people that are motivated to elevate this country out of poverty. So it's an education based on equity. There will be no two standards of education in Zambia. We want a child of a minister and a child of a peasant farmer to access the same quality of education. We are not saying we'll do away with the private schools. If you still feel like you want to take your child to the private school, go ahead and do it. We will accredit the private schools. We'll continue doing that.
Now, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, says it has made progress in preparations for the rollout of the Referendum Awareness Campaign. ECZ Public Relations Manager Crispin Akufuna says ECZ officials will be trained to explain the referendum question and the Bill of Rights to the people countrywide. Mr. Akufuna says the Commission is aware that it has no time, but that it is working round the clock to ensure that the campaign is effective. He tells ZNBC News in an interview that the Commission will next week start publication of the referendum question on radio, television and social media. Mr. Akufuna added that the Commission has engaged the 3 mobile network providers to inform the masses through short message service. Join us for sports news after the final break. And now the rest of the news. In sports, Zesco United have started the 2016 CAF Champions League on a good note, beating Egyptian giants Al-Ali 3-2 in a game played at Levi Manosa Stadium in Dola this afternoon. The win has pushed Zesco top of the group on 3 points. Zesco opened the scoreline through Frank Chingandu, and 3 minutes later, Al-Ali equalized to make it 1-0. It was outstanding Cletus Chama who rose to the occasion and scored a brace to earn 3 important points for the George Luandamina tutored side. And from Euro 2016, Romelu Lukaku scored twice as Belgium recorded their first win at the tournament and damaged the Republic of Ireland's chances of reaching the last 16. After a goalless opening half, Lukaku scored the Belgians' first goal at Euro with a neat finish from the edge of the area. The result means Belgium are second on 3 points and next face Sweden. It was a disappointing performance from the Republic after a promising display in their opening fixture when they drew 1-1 with Sweden. Meanwhile, Iceland are playing Hungary in Group F, with Portugal expected to meet Austria later tonight. We've come to the end of the main news on TV2 at 18 hours today, but before we go, here's a recap of the headlines again. The Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA says initial investigations into the Chama accident, which claimed 5 Hillcrest Technical School pupils and a teacher, have established that it was caused by excessive speed. RATSA Head of Public Relations, Frederick Mubanga has since cautioned motorists to exercise caution and patience on the roads.